Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, Jace D. Young, and today's topic and discussion is this: the truth will set you free, but first, it will piss you off. So, kind of a funny, but yet very true statement today, and I've never heard that before until it came to me just the other week here as I was working with one of our members. But it's so true, right? When you think about it, it's like the truth will set you free, but first, it's going to piss you off, because when you think about any of the things that are the truth inside of your life, whether that's personal or business here, the hard truth is that it pisses you off, which is why a majority of people avoid it, right? Because it's painful. It brings up old memories, old pain, whatever, right? So a majority of people just avoid it. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you all today is because, man, if I had to look at every one of the members in Legacy Farmer, all of them have experienced this. Every single one has experienced this in one capacity or another. Again, whether that's with family, with business, it does not matter. So, and I was thinking about it because, and the reason I wanted to share it with you guys, because guys, it's very relevant to me as well. Going through back in 2016 when I left the banking industry, the next 2 years, I really went through a self-discovery journey and started to push myself into places that were extremely uncomfortable, but they forced me to expose my truth. And now out of that truth came a lot of anger, came a lot of triggers, came a lot of resentment, because I finally accepted the truth for what it was, and it pissed me off first, right? And I guess I can't really say accepted it if it pissed me off, because that means I really didn't accept it first. It just triggered me, right? It triggered me. And then I spent the next 2 years really working through those feelings and ultimately getting to the point where I accepted it for what it was. I forgave people, I forgave myself, and things like that. And I was able to finally move forward. But it's just an interesting concept, because we have so many members that are coming into Legacy Farmer, either with business problems or personal problems, and all of them have experienced this. It just doesn't matter. You can't hide from it. There's no hiding from this. When you come into Legacy Farmer, for example, we expose a lot of people financially, right? They come in because they don't know where they're at financially. They don't know where their numbers are. Everything is kept in their head, right? And if you're listening to this podcast right now and you've been listening to my podcast for a couple of years and you're sitting here saying, well, Jace, I get that you talk about numbers all the time, but I know mine, that I'm on top of them. If your numbers are kept in your head, I'm sorry, but you do not know your numbers. I have seen members that have come into Legacy Farmer that were on top of their numbers, and the level of complexity and sophistication in the systems they had built out. Yes, they were on top of their numbers, but it was in a very tough way. For most people that we talk to on the phone that are thinking about coming into Legacy Farmer, they tell you, hey, yeah, I know my numbers. Okay, great. What was your profitability last year? I think we broke even. Okay, great. So you lost money then, right? Because you have no idea. You have no idea. And most likely, if you're saying I broke even, you lost money. If you were tracking your numbers and you had a profit, you would know exactly what that number is. It's just how business works, guys. You look at other business owners, if they had a profit last year, they're going to be able to tell you exactly what it was. If they're still legit business owners, if they had a loss, they will be able to tell you exactly what it was. Now, for a majority of our members, they come in, and I've done podcasts and videos over the fear of being exposed. Some people, they have anxiety over knowing the truth of the numbers, which is why they actually avoid it at all costs. This is true financially. This is true with personal problems. There's probably a lot of conversations or crucial conversations with people you work with on the operation that you avoid because it will piss you off, or you will be exposed, or the truth will be exposed, or it'll stress you out, whatever, right? And I watched my dad and my granddad do this for a long time growing up. Same with my dad and my brother, because when they did actually talk about it, there wasn't any structure. They did not know how to strategically enter that conversation to where both of them were committed to getting an end result, right? And ultimately finding a solution. They came in, one person said something that pissed off the other person, struck a nerve, right? And then it just led to emotions, pissed off, and then we avoid the conversation and we don't even have it again. Months, years, decades go by without having some of these conversations. Now, the thing is, though, is think about the pain that this causes in every area of your life. When I think about the pain in my life, man, the day going through and actually facing the truth was one of the most painful areas of my life, because I had to go through and face the truth in the mistakes that I had made growing up. I had to go through and face the truth around what happened on our family operation, how I'd been acting as a husband and a father to my wife and children. So there's all these things that get exposed, and it is painful in the beginning. That's why I'm saying it pisses you off. It exposes you. But ultimately, again, the truth will set you free. Time passes, right? Things pass. You process things. You move past things. You forgive people. You forgive yourself. And when I'm talking about forgiving yourself, guys, there's a lot of I know a lot of men, I'm not going to speak for the women that are listening to this, but If you are a woman listening to this and you have a husband, know deep down, if he is anything like the members inside of Legacy Farmer, where he works really hard, he wants to provide a great life for his family and stuff like that, know deep down, if you see him struggling, he's already being tough enough on himself, right? He doesn't need anybody else to beat him down any further or whatever. Because a lot of men, especially growing up on the farm operation, if you were talked down to or mistreated in any way, which I think all of us have had experiences. I could go around our family feed yard right now and drive back out there, and I would be able to point to certain pins and certain alleys and certain gates or bunk lines or whatever. I'd be able to point to certain places where I just got my ass ripped. Those are things that are burned into the back of my brain. So I think every person that's grown up on the family farm has had experiences to some point or some certain extent inside of their life. But I had to go back through and really work through all of those things and forgive people around me as well. Right. And people don't talk about this stuff, but it's so true and it's so real. And the more you avoid it, the more painful life is going to become. And that's just the truth, right? Because as we get older, you develop more of a victim mentality. That's the bigger issue here. I know 50 and 60-year-olds that are farming or ranching that never actually work through that stuff, and they're still avoiding the truth at all cost. And now they're a 50 or 60-year-old victim who thinks that everything is done to them and that they always have an excuse for why they got this result or that result or whatever. They're just victims in life, right? So when you think about it that way, there's two types of people in this world, and there's people that face the truth and expose it and learn from it and grow from it, and there's people that hide from it and they ultimately become victims, right? The people that face the truth become leaders in their life and leaders for other people around them, and also they have a positive impact on people around them because people around them are watching them take ownership of their life. So think about all the people around you. If you're in victimhood right now and you're hiding from the truth and you're avoiding it because it's going to be painful and it's going to hurt and it's going to expose some things, think about all the people around you that could be making moves, that could be living a better life or taking their own action or doing things, but they're not because you are not taking action and actually leading the way. That was a big thing for me, guys, when I started Legacy Farmer. Was I spent 2 years trying to face the truth of what is happening in this industry, look at my experience growing up, looking at how God lined up all the pieces for me to be the person that actually first speaks about the problems in this industry and then does something about it, and building Legacy Farmer and everything. It took me a long time to work through those stories and find the courage to do it. But at the end of the day, if I don't do it, it's like I'm slapping God in the face, because it is inarguable when I look at my life and the sequence of events perfectly lining up to where I was the one that was in the position to where, like, hey, God's telling me, hey, you need to do this. Like, you need to do this. And so I'm going to challenge you with the same question, because there's probably something in your life right now where there's some result, some great result that could happen if you would just step up, face the truth, accept the fact that it's going to piss you off when you do it, and accept the fact that it's going to hurt people when you share certain things with them or certain mistakes that you've made. Those are painful times for sure, but know that going through that establishes trust. Know that going through that establishes healing for you, right? Because you're now starting to work through this, and it's like a breath of relief. It's like you finally get done carrying this weight on your back that you've been carrying. Some of you have been carrying it for years, and you get it out off your back and you move on and move forward. Now I'm just talking about that from the perspective of you facing your own truth and accepting what is and going through that process together. The thing, though, is it's different when you are working with family and you start to expose the truth for somebody else. Now, if you've exposed your own truth right off the bat, it will not be very difficult for you to expose the truth in somebody else. The reason is because you're comfortable. And when you expose them and expose some, bullshit or something that they're doing that they've been doing for years, and they get exposed, you're going to watch them just stress out. They are going to freak out in that moment. They're going to become a victim right away. They're going to blame you, and you're going to sit there and you're just going to be cool. You know why? Because you've already worked through this. You've developed and grown mentally to where you're okay with this. The truth no longer makes you uncomfortable. You can handle it. And guess what? That is a big bonus for you if you're going to be a leader going forward, because most people in this world cannot handle the truth. Most people cannot sit in a room and have their entire life exposed and be told by somebody exactly every area that they are doing a crappy job in, or every area that they're hiding in. They can't handle it. They start squirming around their seat. They start talking a lot, and they start trying to make up things and change conversation and change direction or whatever it may be. And you're just going to sit there and watch them. Right now, The good people, we've had this happen with a lot of members in Legacy Farmer World. They'll expose their own truth, right? They'll come in, they'll get to work on their numbers, they'll get to work on their marriage, they'll get to work on just every area of life. And then it's time to start having a crucial conversation with dad or brother or sister or whoever. And when the first time they do that, guess who freaks out? It's not our members, it's the other party. It's the dad, it's the brother, because they are finally being exposed. And our members sit there and just like, hey, yeah, we're fine with this. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I'm just stating the truth. You know it's the truth, which is why you're freaking out right now, because you are experiencing this pain of being exposed. And it's okay, guys. I don't want you to think it's a negative thing. It's good for that to happen, because then that person goes home, that's all they think about. Because deep down, they know what the truth is. So they can either step up and be a leader, and they can start facing it, and they can give you a call and say, hey, you know what? You were exactly right. And I've screwed up here and I've screwed up there, stuff like that. Guys, those are the people I want to do business with. Those are the people I want to surround myself with. I do not want to surround myself with the people that come back the next day with an entire list of excuses and blaming and crying and all that crap, right? So back to our original title, I've explained some stories here, guys, and you can see exactly in your life where, again, the truth will set you free, but first it's going to piss you off. If you have the courage to step in that pathway, to walk that journey, I promise you, coming out the other end, you will be so much better off. And the people in your life, after you've exposed your truth and you're comfortable with it, again, the people in your life that aren't comfortable with it, God will slowly start to remove them. If you have a conversation with somebody, whether it's your dad or your brother or whoever, and they start coming back at you and they turn into victim mode or whatever, then that's God's sign to you that, hey, we need to start removing this person from your life, and we need to start separating this person, because you're a person that's now living in truth, and we need to avoid people that are dragging you down, right? Because it's just the reality. That's what it is. And I've personally experienced this. I've seen, a lot of our members experience this personally as well as they've went through. But again, it starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts with me. So that's my rant for today, my friends. I hope you found it valuable. I hope you will look back at this and look at some areas of your life and be like, okay, I need to talk about this, or I need to expose this. I need to step up and be a leader in my life and go do these certain things, because at the end of the day, what's the cost if you don't? Right? Again, I talk about the moral obligation you have and the great things that God is ready to make happen for you inside of your life. And he can't do it because you will not walk through that first door and expose the truth, experience the pain, grow from it, learn from it, accept it, and move on. And you will literally become a new version of yourself. So my friends, hope you found this episode valuable, and we will catch you on the next one.
What's up, everyone? My name is Jace Young. I'm the founder of a company called Legacy Farmer, and inside of that company, what we do is we've helped over 300 family farms simplify and streamline the entire financial side of their operation and help them learn their numbers at a deep, deep level so that they can implement the systems and the processes to make sure that their operation lives on for generations into the future.